Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome again to Introduction to Business, Entrepreneurship, and Starting Your Own Business. This one is more of a formal type of a presentation. I have another one that is a mini one I'll share with the audience later. You're either taking me in an online class, or face-to-face class, or a hybrid class, or one of my workshops, so you already have... I already provided you with a conceptual map with the second tier, so you could add on to this. One thing I want my audience, my students to understand is that sometimes I'm giving you my perspective. You may be reading some material that I provided for you, but if you like, you could turn the volume off and just go through the conceptual maps when I go on here like this, when I click on here, and I'm talking about on this first one, entrepreneur, you know what I mean? And you could just stop. Remember, you've got the line here. This is a recording, so you could stop me, move me back, stop me where you want. Oh, I don't understand about the attributes. Let me make this a little bit bigger here for you, and we'll zoom this in about like 200, so now you can see it. So you could just stop me right here and then move on. You don't have to have to the volume. Some people will record this and take it on their MP3 player in their cars and listen to me explain the lecture, and they already read it. They've talked about it. We've been discussing this within one of my forums, or one of my discussion groups, or within the classroom setting, or in the workshop setting. So it keeps on reinforcing this information. My whole thing with the conceptual map, so you can see the whole picture, what I'm trying to present to you. You can move from different parts of the map. You're using both right and left side of the mind. Okay, entrepreneurship. Why do I bring all this up? Because creativity. First thing we talk about is creativity. Are entrepreneurs creative? Well, I'm not artistic. Artistic and creativity, two different, similar but two different spectrums. I could be creative by getting out of work. How do I get out of work? I can be creative at how do I sell to my customers? How do I make a product because my supplier defaulted or something happened? How do I do something? I'm using creativity to come up with a solution to help a problem, or I use my creativity to bring more customer to make it an opportunity. So creativity is an out-of-the-box thinker. Sure, it's nice if you're an artistic individual, but I had the creativity, I could have someone draw it for me. I got the idea, and I could have someone market it for me. But I still had that creativity instincts, okay? So all entrepreneurs, all middle managers, all leaders are creative in some way or another. Don't mistake creativity and artistic ability as one. The two different types of, look it up in the dictionary. Okay, let's go to the general. Accepting risk and starting and running a business, be my own boss in the economy. We talked last session on small business. A small business starts off as because I bought somebody else's business. I purchased another person's idea. I purchased a franchise. So I'm not really an entrepreneur per se. An entrepreneur, the same skill sets and everything I need for small business owners is the same skill sets and attributes I have as an entrepreneur. The two of them are together. What's an entrepreneur? I didn't buy a business. I started off my own hot dog stand. I started off my own consulting company. I started off my own non-for-profit organization. I started it off on my own church, my own mosque, my own whatever, you know what I mean? Somebody starts it off. I didn't have to buy it, so now I'm an entrepreneur. But as a business owner, even if I bought a business, and I use the example a lot of times as I grew up in the Chicago area around the Logan Square area, it used to be predominantly Polish. As the neighborhood and the culture changed, those in Chicago, cultures change every 10 years. You have a different culture coming in, and the next one going out. Now they're predominantly Hispanics and Latinos, though it's changing again to yuppies coming in there, but let's say that. So I'm a Polish restaurant, and now my neighborhood changed, so what do? I use creative. Now I said, I got to start selling tacos, I got to start selling different types of food that will bring in as a secondary dish to my Polish food, that they could complement my Polish food and their food. That's my create. Now I become an entrepreneur. Do you see what I mean? So an entrepreneur for a different market, an entrepreneur for different customer segment. Okay? So, and what attributes? I'm a risk taker, self-directed, and so that's the difference between an entrepreneur and a business. But now, what abilities, what attributes do I need? I'm action-oriented. I'm highly energetic. You'll see most of the business people, oh, I hope the customers come in. Even a yoga instructor, that's supposed to be calm and relaxing. He or she is very active to get the people in there. Once they come in there, then they go through the process how to relax and not to be stressed out. And tolerant and uncertainty. Remember, an entrepreneur, you don't know. It's like you're throwing a party. Will they come or will they not come? Why take the risk? Again, opportunities. I want to be profit, my own independence, my challenge. And the whole thing of an entrepreneur is something I enjoy doing. Why can't I make some money off of that? There's nothing wrong. We're business people. You know what I mean? I'm a minister, or I'm a religious or non-profit organization. I want to help people. You can't help people unless you got some financial backing or some money to there. So how do I market? How do I get money to there? How do I let the people that need the help? How do I get them to my facility? All those are creative ideas. So those are all entrepreneurship. But you have to have financial backing to make those things happen. So money is not the root of all evil. Is money, and people are the root of all evil. Money is how you utilize. Money is just an instrument. It's what you do with that instrument when you have it given to you, or you acquire it. You know, what do you do with it? You keep it for yourself, or you give out. That's a social responsibility that we did last session. Okay, I have an idea. It fills the customer needs. You have skills and resources to start a business. That's why you're taking this workshop or some of my or classes at a college. You can sell the product or service at a reasonable price and still make a profit. You can get your product or service to customer before the window of opportunity. Remember, there's a window of opportunity. I get them in there, and people move, people change, environmental forces. I'm always looking for, how do I take what I do? How do I adjust? You know, hopefully I don't have to do too much adjustment to my product, but there are different windows of opportunity for different market, not the same area. I can't find anyone here. I go to another area, or I find another media to get to other people, like social networking or Twitter or some other of those, or Instagram. All those are different medias that I'm looking at different markets to bring people in. Okay, what's an entrepreneur team? They're just a group of individuals, retired or individuals who have the expertise, are entrepreneurs, are in the business, in the corporate, doing some social responsibility back to the community, and they'll give you an idea. No matter what idea I will present to you, or an entrepreneur, one of these teams will present, you are still the one who has to say, does this make sense for me? Does this make sense for my customers? Does this make sense for my operations? I'm just giving you an idea. Here's the package. Here's what I think. You're looking at my expertise. You still have to tweak it because it's on you. I mean, you may be paying me a service. I may implement it. That's a different part of a process. But after it's running, how do I sustain it? How do I keep it going? You have to have a buy-in and believe in it. Okay. And what's a micropreneur? A micropreneur is basic entrepreneurs, a small business. A lot of times I'm like a consulting operation. I'm a micropreneur. I don't want to get large. I don't want to get. I'm very happy. I don't need all the stress or anything else. I work with small clients. I come from the corporate world, so I have that. I like a steady income coming in. I enjoy teaching, and it's or doing workshops and training, and helping small businesses get started. I don't do startups. It's a lot of hand holding, but I help businesses as they're up and going. Same thing now. So what's an entrepreneur? A Microsoft consultant is basically a teacher of business. No different than I am an instructor now, teaching you at a college level or in a workshop. So it's just in a larger scale. And even when I teach to businesses, maybe 2 or 3 individuals, smaller group. Sometimes the classrooms are larger than the individuals that I have to teach. But it's a business that is very focused to the business operation. I'm a practitioner. I take what I've learned, the knowledge I've learned, that's what I'm trying to transfer to you, and how do I make it into a product or a service that I can make a profit and bring up my family, or if I don't have a family, enjoy my life here. Okay, so home-based businesses, computer technology, corporate downsizing. A lot of people went into that because they want to go back to the corporate. It was an opportunity. They had some cash influx that came in from their buyouts, or they used their savings and they started a business. No one would hire them because of their age or whatever, so they're doing something on the side, they're happy now. All right, or you have other individuals, other younger people coming out of college, and you need this expertise, but they got ideas, they got the drive, they got the motivation, and they're going. People in the middle are usually where you're at. You're at the beginning. You got to find someplace, and then here, not saying that people in the middle can't go because your company got laid off or downsized and you got out there. A lot of times, people in the middle where you're there, you don't like too much change, so you're kind of happy there. Okay. Now, benefits of home base, again, no rent, you work at home, reduce wardrobe expenses. I'm dressed here, I can have raggedy pants at the bottom, as long as I look real good up on top. Just kidding. Tax benefits, I could write off a certain percentage of my tax. Low risk and trial and error. Depends on your business. But you have to understand the rules and regulations. If you're running a business where you have a lot of people coming into your home, you're no longer a home business. You have zoning issues you have to be to understand. You have to understand your neighbors. This is where you're doing at your home. People don't know if I'm running a business here because it's small. I've got a beauty salon, people coming and going. You have to look at the zoning and the rules and regulations for the neighborhood. You know what I mean? But otherwise, you can write off a lot of taxes if you meet the requirements of the zoning. Okay? A downsize of home business size, limited support. You have nothing. Isolation, workspace may be limited. It depends. It depends on your operation. Because a lot of times, if you're doing work, you're at your client's facility. You don't need a large place. But if you're doing like internet and you're sending goods back and out, you have to have a large garage. Zoning restrictions and success is based on 100% of your effort. You have no one to fall back on by yourself. Outsourcing your small business. If I look at outsourcing, I could be a small business in construction, have a nice website. People look at it. I'm a big company, but I don't have to have a big staff. I can outsource, and general contractors do that. They work out of their homes. You're small, but you don't realize that. Or some of them have bigger offices if you want to. But those starting off, I just have the right contacts. I got my architect will take care of it. I have somebody that does the electrical. I got somebody that does the plumbing. I have somebody that does the masonry or the brickwork. You know what I mean? I have somebody that does the carpeting, the roofing, and I'm basically in between. And you pay me a fee. And you as a customer, you don't unless you come into my place, or I send you to the architect, and he and I are sharing an office, but we're two separate entities. We just have the same name. It makes us look bigger for our customers. We provide more value service at one-stop location. Okay? So I should outsource or insource. A lot of small businesses, when people think outsourcing, they're always thinking I'm going to China, I'm going to Mexico, I'm going out. Outsourcing could be right here. It could be outsourcing could be within a corporation. Outsources one job to another one. I used to be new construction. I used to work for ComEd, and we would outsource work to our distribution. Our distribution, they had a maintenance. They'd outsource to me. Just paid me a currency that was electronic currency within our departments, units or functions credit that would come to the department. No money ever left. We just transferred from one activity to another activity. When you take accounting down the road. Online business, that's an opportunity. Even if you don't have an online business and basically a brick and mortar, you should have some aspect of online. It gives you recognition. People search online. The yellow page, everything's online. And what happens, you may sell shirts, you may sell ties, you may sell programs. I have some independent, electricians or plumbers or whatever. They basically have their own job and everything else. When business is slow, they do estimating for them. All you have to do is it's the same guy. You got to provide them how many hours you think your workforce. They estimate for their own your workforce and your cost. They don't know what your profit margin is. It's irrelevant. They're just estimating the cost to the customer, and then you could backtrack that to your profit margin for expenses, what you pay for. But you outsource that type of work, and you have other individuals, you have contractors, plumbers, electricians. They are preferred contractors, for lack of better word, for Home Depot or for like Menards. When you say, hey, you buy a product, we'll have an installer put it in for a minimum price. Sometimes the minimum price, they kind of break even, or if they have to add extra, they'll charge those departments or the customer on that. But while they're in there, they already put out their cards. Hey, I see put in your stove and everything else. If you ever decide to do any kind of electrical work or anything else, here's my card. I'm also certified electrician. And, because they meet this minimum requirements for like Home Depot, Lowe's, and everything else. So they have to have certified their license and they're bonded. So now it's another foot in the door. If I'm not making as much money as I would be making it on my own, but it's bringing revenue into the operation, a steady flow of revenue, and also a new flow of customer base. Entrepreneur is basically a creative type of individual who works within a corporation but doesn't want to take any of the risk. I have a little more flexibility. I don't have to wear a suit and tie. And just for my audience out there, I always wear a suit and tie because I teach management and marketing classes. International business management and marketing. So how does a manager and marketer look? This is it. Gives me some credibility. Got a PhD. So I am basically fitting the thing. When I'm dealing with clients that are smaller businesses, I'll take the tie off and just put a sports jacket to adjust. But I'm trying to put my good face out here. Okay, so they call them an entrepreneur. They use the company's assets, resources to launch their product, and how they get that is basically they get a certain percentage. If you look at Art Fry at 3M, this is just a historical research. He developed a post-it when he was trying to mark pages of his hymnal book, some Bible book for at the church, I presume, without any damages. He came up with the idea, but he was using all the company's facility equipment. So when he came up with the idea and he gave it back to the organization, if the organization wants these entrepreneurs, I understand the company's taking the larger risk. They basically have to reward that individual. It's not like I do it on my own. I had the patent, but I get a certain percentage or something out of it. Otherwise, you're not going to have anything. Government and entrepreneurs, the government has what they call enterprise zones, is to bring new business starts up in there. Remember, it helps stimulate the economy. If I, as one individual, myself, start a business and I'm kind of successful, I pay taxes. After a while, I get better success. I hire a new employee, another employee. I start growing. They buy products from other businesses within the zone or outside the business. Helps the economy. I hire people from within that enterprise zone, and now I start bringing up the economy, and more. The seed money the government pays me or these individual comes back in at 10 times fold in taxes and revenues that helps other people and helps the society as a whole. Immigration Act, this is what I'm looking at. The Immigration Act in 1990 created investors' visas. So if you had money coming in, what's happening is just not investor visas being utilized by China. So other people from smaller developing countries say it's unfair. China got 1.3 billion, so does India. I'm surprised that India wasn't in the numbers there. So you have a higher percentage of people that have better write-ups or better investment opportunities than maybe some of the smaller developing country. And I don't know how that process works, but even though the U.S. has a quota or sort of process coming in, if you have an idea or cash, you could jump ahead of the line. They have so many spaces because it helps the economy within the nation, the gross domestic economy, the gross GNP, the gross national economy, which will also include investment, foreign investment. And the incubators offer new business low cost office. This corporations or small businesses. I'm a small business. I want to look like I'm a bigger business, and I need the office space. I need the collaboration of other individuals. I will just rent an office space with an incubator type of a setting. So they just rent the office. It's simpler. They took that off from like the real estate. A lot of times you have the real estate, like Remax, for lack of better words. It's the only one pops in my mind right now. Is out there, and they rent little spaces underneath the Remax umbrella, kind of like a franchise. And so you come in there, so you think you're a big operation, and then they get a percentage of the office space, and you have a secretarial, a fax machine, and everything else. You use the equipment, and you pay like a burning cost on that. Okay, I mean that's a nice process. I mean, so you pay a fee, but you look. You have an office, you have facility, and you have other new creative individuals. So you're always thinking about it, you hear how they're doing, and you help each other out. Learning about small business, learn from others. Investigate local colleges. Like many of you are taking this a course with me in that, or my workshops, or the Small Business Association has training. Always offered real mini training sessions for 8 hours or so. A lot of times, a lot of community colleges. I know both Harper and College Lake County has those services offered there. I teach at both of those universities also, and it's for a one-time day, 8 hours. You get to you can send your employees in there, or you can go inside in there. They're very cost-effective. And some of them are run by the Small Business Association. They work together. They're helping the community to not only be local but to expand into the global market. It's a process of your taxes and the government working together, and non-profit organizations that we've been talking about. Get some experience. Gain 3 years in the field. Work for somebody else. See how they do it. Don't complain, but see how they tax, see who they get their customers, see where they market. Take over companies that retire. A lot of times when you work for a company and a small business and the owner is retiring, and a lot of his family doesn't want to take on the legacy, and so he may sell it to you, or he may be a silent partner, she may be a silent partner, or a partner with you, and you work together. Small business, independently owned. Not that, but this is the regular generic definition of a small business. Smaller relationships, other business in their industry. There are 26 million small businesses. The number's a little bit higher. It goes up and down, depends on the environment. Usually small business go under, but other ones pop up real quickly because the investments are smaller and people are taking more of a risk. A small business account for 50% of the gross domestic product. It should be a little bit higher than that. A small business generates 60% of new jobs, remember, but they only generate 80% of the first workforce are the small business. If the government gets the small business growing, you'll get more people off the unemployment lines, off the welfare, and that basically once they're working, they spend back money in the economy. Not only that, they pay taxes for all the social services that we need. All right, so small businesses, if you look at a lot of countries like Germany and let's say France, for example, they basically, the small businesses, which drives their whole economy. Okay, why business fail? Why does anything fail? Ownership, closing, start another business to report a failure. And sometimes the way they come up, if it just got closed, it means it's folder. I may decide I'm expanding a business, or I am a partnership and I'll become an LLC. I'm transferring ownership, so I close one off and pick up the other one, but it's recorded as a failure. Changing forms from businessship, recorded a failure. Retirement is recorded a failure. There's a lot of times when you look at the major functions of failure in small business, we're talking here about entrepreneur, so it just all falls in. Is basically because of poor management of money cash flow. Underestimated how much it's going to cost to run a business. They could come creative, but they underestimated or they didn't understand their customer base. You have to understand your customer base. In most of my workshop, I do one on feasibility before you do a full business plan. Who are my customers? What am I paying for? Okay, major business function. This is what you cover: planning, financing, knowing the customer. 100%. You don't know the customer, you're never going to make it in business. Managing employees. That's the other one. Remember, theft is the highest between employees. Smarter businesses, they know more about your operation and everything else, and then keeping good records. Business planning, I can't stress the business plan. It just gives you an idea. Here's where I want to be in the next 5 years. How much is my cost? Who's my customers? How much taxes do I need? Where do I market to? How do I advertise? What kind of promotion? What's my expense? Identify the competition. What's my competition? What's my target? Remember, part of the market, I have to understand, is there a need? Who are my competitors? Owners SWOT. Strengths, weaknesses. Remember, not only strengths and weaknesses and opportunities that I have, that operation. What's the strength and weakness of the store, the product, or the service I'm doing? What's the threats? What are my competitors doing? All this I have to know before I open up. There's a lot of competition. Maybe I want to go someplace else. It's not a little competition. I got to spend more money on letting them know who I am, but they don't have to worry about the competitor. I have one lady that says she opened up a business, and basically now it says she got 5 or 6 other competitors. You either got to beat the competitors, or you move your operation. There's only so many people in an area that customers are gonna come. The other competitors are taking your customers, like it or not. They don't have to travel far, maybe by 5 miles, but they're still closer. They offer the same service. What are you going to offer different? You have to specialize in something that your competitor can't be as competitive to. That's part of marketing, okay? Family affair, geez. But remember, family's the hardest ones to fire. You can't fire your wife. You can't fire your husband. You can't fire your kids. You could. In some businesses, I will consult them to fire. Clarify the expectation. What will each person contribute? Just because they're husband and wife and you're working together, she's the president, you're the vice president, she's the chief financial officer, what are their responsibilities? Just like a job description. You should have a job description for each one of those members as the business grows. Because eventually you want to turn that over to, you're hiring somebody else or bringing a new person. You want to move up the corporate ladder, for lack of better words. But Your employees, they have to know the chain of command. Who's there? Your business, one or two, you can get away with it. As you start getting more, you need to bring somebody else and start having some structure. You know, I mean, Weber says organizational structure. Who reports to who? She's the boss of this. He's the boss of that. They're both the boss of this. Otherwise, you send mixed signals. People are going to say, I'm out of here. It's too confusing. I say I do this, and he overrides me. She gets mad at me. He gets mad at me. And it doesn't have to be in a marriage. Even between different partners in ownership, has to be a clear definition of what one does over the other. Okay? That's how businesses work. Family boundaries. You have to be able to split the business side from the opposite. A lot of people who work as a family, when their business, they deal, when they go home, they don't have the cars, you don't have the equipment, and the business is no longer part of that. I'm just a regular family. That's how you succeed. Otherwise, if you want to live with the family, you might as well have the house and everything else. Some people like that. Here's the house, baker in the back, jeweler, he's got the apartment in the back, but that business is always in your face. Sometimes it's kind of nice to split it up. If you're working as a family, you want to say, here's my family time and here's my business time, because you roll different hats. A lot of people, when I leave from home, I come home, I can be at home because I don't have much. Well, here I do it because I teach a lot of online classes, I do workshops, and I do these videos. But it's still, I can just close the office. I go to another part of the house to relax or watch TV. Otherwise, here I think of work. And it's no different. So make sure it works well. Different type of individual. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Think of your situation. Think of your family structure. Think if you want to separate your family from your from your workplace. I know a lot of times morticians. The families live and work in the mortuary where they do all the. I would rather be separate with the kid. So I don't know. That's just me. But you have to see where the money and what works out well for you. Okay. And that source of capital. Where am I going to get the money? Personal savings, relatives, farmers, banks, governments, angel investors. You have right now. I should put down crowd. What do you call it? Foresee. Let me just insert that, and I'll go crowd. Let's do that. Crowd. I'm not doing too good spelling. Crowd financing. Okay. So I got crowd financing. And basically, that's another way. I put it in there, and I get small investors. I put an idea, and there's a company that oversees it, and it puts it together and says, I'm going to invest. It's almost like little shares. I'm going to invest $50, $20, and then I'll get 10% return as the business goes. Remember, venture capitalists or angel investors, they want part of the management. The other ones, they're just going to give you the grant money or money and get the investment. Some of these want money exchange. Invest in new business exchange for partial ownership. Make sure you know who they are. Some of them may be unethical managers that just get in there and want to take your money as you want, the business straight about, and let you sink and fall apart, and they write you off as a tax loss, as a loss. Okay, Small Business Administration, they're all over. Just most of the community colleges has an extension. I know Harper has one on HBC Center in Palatine, if I'm not mistaken. College Lake County has it right in the main campus, in the Grays Lake campus. They're there. They're at a scale. They're there to help small businesses. They'll direct you. They have micro things. They have entrepreneur teams. They are your source of contact for the government. Do not look at it if it's free. Some of it's free. Some of you got to pay. They got the workshop. Don't look at it as a handout. Look at it as grant money for the government. So as you succeed, don't worry. They'll tax the heck out of you as your business grows larger. SBC, Small Business Investment, they're the ones that basically provide the money. You still have the small business plan. You have to have an idea, and they will help you. Small Business Administration will put you in charge here. They'll also help you in how you find what do they call it, the capital. What's the market? Consumers with unsatisfied needs. Remember, I'm opening up a business entrepreneur. I got to know who my customers are at a fair price. Great advantage for small business, ability to know the market quickly. Most people open up businesses or entrepreneurs, they see a need there, and they don't have anything in there. If you look at Facebook, that's a need. If you look at eHarmony, they started off, people don't know how to date, how to meet people. And then you've got other ones out there. I just use the ones, the top ones on my mind. Small business prospects abroad. Small business and medium small business account for 99% of recent growth in export. And that's me opening up a business or making a connection outside, selling my products, exporting it, not importing it. Overseas buyers enjoy dealing with businesses. They can provide a wide variety of suppliers. They can give more personal service and attention. All right. So if I'm looking at that, other helps, if I look at you have accountants, you have lawyers, insurance agents, retired business people. All those are assistants to you. Managing employees is one of the highest. Hiring and firing. Small business like that, you have a high turnover. And that's, because you want to grow. Now you have the Affordable Care Act, maybe the state. But a lot of businesses, like if you're working for a small business or you're a small business, how I would sell it, as the business grows, I need a manager. As I grow, I would open up another business. I'm not franchising. I will make you a partner. You don't have to be a manager, a partner. You don't have any money, but you're going to manage that, and you have 30%, and I'm taking the risk. And now as you grow, you become either 50% for next door. So you use the business. Small businesses, if they're successful, they get a product and you know it, you grow with them, and now you become a partnership. And as you grow, you could change the partnership agreement or become a corporation, sell stocks or back, and then you grow with that small business. There's advantages. Remember, 80% of the people working will be a small business. To get into the multinational, you have a master's, a doctor, and they're taking from all over the world. Your odds and your percentage are in a small business. If you want to grow, be a millionaire, you're more likely working for yourself as a small business owner than you would for a corporation. And then market research is basically need to find out about the market. How can you analyze the market and everything else until you know about the market? Find the location. Who's to select at the target market? I want everybody to know who you're going to focus in. You only got so much money. Who are the main customers coming in? Then I start saying, okay, how do I change my product? We got everybody. Jeez. Focus in. You only got so much money. Focus in. Get in there. Get that target market. Then as I start making money, then let's go to the consumer market. Let's go. I'm right now selling just to bakeries. Maybe I could sell to the stores making the bakeries. Maybe I could sell to the stores that are, selling bakery oven. Maybe I could sell to like the Jewels, maybe the Marianos that have their oven. Maybe I could make an oven that sells to the consumer. Remember all this, because a lot of consumers do a lot of cooking at home. Okay? Does that kind of make sense? So this is our whole thing that we've talked about today on entrepreneurship. This whole section we learned a lot. I know it's a little more than about 40 minutes. I try to keep them under 20 or 30. Stop me. Turn me off. Look at the concept maps as I go along with them, and that's how you learn. Stop it. Take note, think about it, write your own information, and now you have me 40 minutes. You can have me for 4 or 5 hours, or you can just have everything done in 20 minutes. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. Thank you for taking this course with me online, face-to-face, hybrid, or one of my workshops, and I'll see you in our next session. Thank you.